Have you ever seen a parent holding a baby in one hand and a phone in the other, Googling, "Is this normal?" at 2 a.m., and then 5 minutes later posting a reel about gentle parenting? That might just be a Gen Z parent. A lot of people assume Gen Z parents are too soft, too online, or too experimental. But psychologically, something much deeper is happening. Let me show you what's really going on inside their minds. Gen Z grew up in a world of constant information. Their brains were shaped by search bars, comment sections, and algorithm-driven feeds. When they become parents, that same wiring doesn't disappear, it intensifies. Instead of blindly following "because I said so," they ask why. Why does my child behave like this? Why did my parents react that way? Why does discipline have to mean fear? You see, many Gen Z parents were raised by millennials or Gen X parents who valued resilience and independence, sometimes at the cost of emotional expression. So now, when Gen Z steps into parenthood, they're carrying two things at once: their childhood wounds and their Wi-Fi connection. That's a powerful combination. Psychologists talk about intergenerational patterns, the invisible scripts passed down from one generation to the next. Gen Z parents are hyper-aware of those scripts. They don't just want to raise a child, they want to break cycles. That's why you'll see them talking openly about therapy, boundaries, emotional regulation. They are trying to parent their child and reparent themselves at the same time. But here's the twist. That awareness can also create anxiety. When you have access to endless parenting advice, your brain starts to feel like it's taking an exam every day. Am I gentle enough? Too gentle? Am I damaging my child by saying no? Neuroscience shows that uncertainty activates the same stress circuits as physical threats. So sometimes what looks like overthinking is actually a nervous system on high alert. And yet, there's something beautiful here. Gen Z parents tend to value emotional intelligence deeply. They talk about feelings at the dinner table. They apologize to their kids. They explain rules instead of just enforcing them. Research on attachment theory tells us that secure bonds are built through responsiveness and repair, not perfection. In that sense, Gen Z may be redefining strength, not as dominance, but as emotional presence. Of course, they're not perfect. No generation is. They're learning in public. They're parenting in a world where every mistake can be screenshotted. That takes courage. So maybe the real psychology of Gen Z parents isn't about being too soft. Maybe it's about being consciously human, about saying, the cycle stops with me, even when that's messy and uncomfortable. And if you see yourself in this, the late-night Googling, the self-doubt, the deep desire to do better, maybe you're not failing. Maybe you're evolving. What do you think? Are Gen Z parents rewriting the rules or just rewriting their own stories? Let me know in the comments. And if you're curious about how psychology shapes the way we love, parent, and grow, stick around. There's so much more to explore.